called the NFL, not the IFL. The National Football League. The National Football League. Why are the Jets playing in London? Why? It's not national, it's international. Fucking Vikings. Goddamn too pussy to get their ass kicked by Aaron Rodgers in their own stadium for the last time. God damn it. So fucking... Do you know how much better the crowd would be? Do you know how much goddamn better the crowd would be if that fucking game was just in Minnesota? Like, honestly, it is so absurd, and I think that the fucking, like, people that just run the NFL, they just don't give a fuck about the actual, like, fans or, like, the sport at all, to be honest. Okay, so this has been something I've wanted to talk about for a while now. I feel like a lot of people completely ignore how stupid the international schedule in the NFL has been and continues to be. And honestly, I think it's only going to get worse. Because the matchups they do and choose to put internationally just make no sense. It's like, I get maybe you don't want to put divisional games. I don't know if there's a rule or something in a contract where they don't do divisional games or something, right? Which I can understand that, right? But it's the specific ones they choose. Because clearly, right, they don't... It's not like they're specifically focused on, oh, they want the big marquee matchups because the Giants and Panthers are playing. Okay? Like, that's not a big ticket fucking game. Nobody can convince anybody of that, right? So clearly you wouldn't, like, you don't care that much about, like, you know, giving them the highest tier matchups. But then you got games like the Jets versus the Vikings, which, of course, J.J. McCarthy going out for the entire season. It's like, yeah, is that probably more of like a Jets, like, are the Jets definitely going to be favored to win that as long as we're healthy? Yes. But the Vikings game, because I live in Minnesota, right? I live in Minnesota, and so what pissed me off is at the end of the last year, the one silver lining, the one good thing I got out of last year is that the Vikings and Jets somehow matched perfectly to where they would play in Minnesota like 6 years early. Like 6 years, it's going to be like another 6 years till they're like scheduled to come back here, right? And fucking of course that's the fucking match that they choose to put in fucking Britain. Put in fucking British land. It makes no sense. Like, the amount of story you have there with, especially, like, because I get it's the Vikings. The Vikings are a team just like the Jaguars are, which I will get into the Jaguars in a bit because I feel bad for those fans too. But I get the Vikings are chosen as like the international team, but like, why? Why? First off, it's like one of the only fucking Midwest teams. Like, there are, well, okay, I mean, Midwest, there's Midwest teams, but like, Vikings, one of the only teams, like, Minnesota is surrounded by states without football teams. So if you are a football team or a football fan in like North or South Dakota, there's a lot of like Vikings fans there because, I mean, that's the closest fucking team to them. And if they're going to go to a game, it's going to be driving to Minnesota or maybe like Green Bay, something like that, right? But like, why would you choose the Vikings to be that team? the Vikings to be your international team when they're like the biggest team in the Midwest. They are like the most popular team in the Midwest because Minnesota is surrounded by states without football teams. But yet they choose them. And not only that, you have the history with Aaron Rodgers and the Vikings. And again, it would be one thing if it was, let's say, a Jets home game that was scheduled and it went international, because it's like, okay, I guess the story's not there as much for the Jets home crowd, right? It's just like, oh, we're facing the Vikings. But like, to the Vikings, trust me, Vikings fans, as somebody who lives in Minnesota, they know Aaron Rodgers. They know Aaron Rodgers well. And I guarantee you that crowd would be going fucking crazy the whole time. Like, even though I hate Vikings fans are very, very passionate and loud. Like, fucking, as stupid as the skull chant is, it is kind of intimidating though. Like, you can't really lie. When you actually got like that many people doing a chant in unison, it's kind of impressive. But that game, you're gonna choose the Jets versus the fucking Vikings in London. Why? What makes no fucking sense? Like, I'm still upset about that, because now if you are a Jets fan, and there's a lot of, you know, different instances where it's like, oh, it sucks to be a fan in certain parts of the state, right? But at least, like, let's say you live on the East Coast, at least there's a lot of teams, or the West Coast, there's a lot of teams. So if you are really passionate about a certain football team, like the Jets or something, there's a decent chance that they will at least be in, you know, like 8 hours driving distance. You can make a day trip of it, right? But like for example, the closest game, I believe, to me now, with the Vikings being in London, is, let's see, the Steelers. I'm not driving to fucking Pittsburgh. Okay, like, honestly, my only hope is like I'll drive to Kansas City. That's a doable drive. I think it's not the worst drive. I know a couple of people who have made that drive and back. It's like they don't care about the American fans anymore. Honestly, it's not even surprising. NFL, they don't care about fans. They care about money. That's why it fucking costs an arm and a leg to watch everything legally. Look, fucking do what you want because a pirate is free, all right? But if you want to do it legally, it costs way too fucking much money. God, you put the Jets in. I just can't get over that. Why? There's no fucking point. It's like, you fuck over everybody who's a Jets fan in the Midwest. Everybody who's a Jets, like, the amount of, because there's so much backstory to it. Like, the amount of, like, I guarantee you I'm not the only person who, like, has a family of, like, Vikings fans, right? But you're a Jets fan, and so this is like big, and especially with Aaron Rodgers, and but then it's like I feel like I can't even complain too much, because it's also, you have to feel for like Jags fans as well, right? Because like they get what, 2 fucking London games a year, and it's like, imagine being a Bears fan who, like my situation, where like my family Vikings fans, and then I'm a Jets fan. Imagine your family, you know, is a Jaguars fan, but you're a Bears fan or something like that. Like, those are cool. I don't think you get that much like type of fan relationship type tension where, like, you know, your family, like, your girlfriend likes this team, or pretend she likes that team, because I mean, what woman actually likes football? But like, or, you know, your kid likes this team and you like that team. I don't think you probably get as much of that in, I mean, I might be wrong. I know it's like kind of popular. I guess that's what people say, but it's like, I have a fucking British friend, and he's like, he's the only person he knows that watches fucking American football, and he's like, I've never, outside of like occasionally on like TV, like I've never ever heard anybody even mention a fucking football team, like, and it's it's like, I don't know, part of me, I just doubt that there are nearly as much diehard fans in, well, pretty much any other country outside of America, right? I doubt there are as many diehard football fans. And it's like, why give them marquee matchups then? Why give them the marquee matchups? Like, at least the crowd. Do you know how fucking crazy the crowd would be for the Jets Vikings game? It would be so insane. But they, like, the crowd's not gonna add, like, there'll be a London crowd, I guess. Honestly, I don't even know if I've watched any international games. I'll watch this one, unfortunately, but like, I don't fucking wake up that early. But God, makes absolute, actually, you know what, I do think it is, because I thought about this, right? So if you look at the schedule here, you look at the schedule, right? I think that the NFL, which granted we got a bunch of primetime games last year, but I think especially with last year, Aaron Rodgers not being there for pretty much all of the primetime games. I mean, unless you want to count those 4 snaps on the Monday Night Football game. I think they're pissed at him. I think they're like, well, we want our fucking value worth for this shit. So we're using your name for as much marquee shit as we can. And we're doing it all right at the start. We are going to, but because when you look at it, it's what? The first, until bye week, for the first 11 weeks. The first 11 weeks, first off, all of our primetime games are in there. And we have 6 of them. 7 if you include an international game. Right? 7 out of 11 games. 7 out of 11 games. That is fucking insane. That is fucking insane. I don't know. I don't pay too much attention to other people's schedules, right? But there clearly is some sort of marketing reason behind doing this. And I think there is a bit of like, oh, we're fucking, you know what, Aaron Rodgers, fucking, you blew your Achilles. We're going to make you play all the primetime games right now, and we're going to use your name because you're going to play the Vikings early. We're going to use your name to sell international tickets too. Okay, you're fucking doing everything while you still can, because quite frankly, we don't know if you're going to make it another year, right? So, and since the Vikings are always a international team, it kind of makes sense that they're like, oh, international team, another thing that we can use Rodgers for. Boom, his name right on that. And let's make it early, too. Let's not space any of the primetime games out at all. Like, and I get, it's like, it's not like there's much of a difference, right, for the teams playing, but, like, for the fans, too. Like, people work, dude. Like, depending on your job, like, I always loved the fucking Sunday afternoon games the best, to be honest, because I could get to bed and wake up at a reasonable time to get to work. Because at the time, my job, I had to be there at work at 4 a.m. every day. And when the games, and when you have a fucking Monday night game or a Sunday night game, and it doesn't end till after 10, like, God, the next day is not fun, especially when the Jets lose. Especially, like, if the Jets win, I can deal with it. But, like, you can't put all your eggs in that basket. You just can't trust it. So, it just makes no sense. And again, like, Jags fans, I just feel sorry for the Jags fans because, again, imagine you're a Patriots fan and your family's a Jaguars fan. Like, how often do you guys meet? How often do you guys really go against each other? Same thing with Jaguars and Bears. Like, how often do you guys go against each other? And 2 times a year you have to sacrifice a fucking matchup. It's just, and I do get it in terms of fucking like promoting and shit, right? Because it's like, oh, the Jaguars and the Vikings, they can be seen as like, you know, their home team too. You know, it's like, ah, oh, this is London's team or whatever. You know, they get the London fans. But like, god damn, that fucking sucks for people who are like, well, I live in Jacksonville. I'd really like to see my team play. Like, that would be nice. Oh no, I just really feel for the Jaguars fans too, though. Just cause it's like, again, imagine being a Jaguars fan or like your family's a Jaguars fan and you're a Patriots fan and fucking Jacksonville, which actually there's probably a lot of that. There's probably, because unless they're just all, you know, they went from the Patriots to the Chiefs, just like, it's weird how that happened. Fucking, like, there probably are a lot of Patriots fans with, like, Jaguars fans that live near Jacksonville or just in Florida, right? That now are like, well, of course, and probably they didn't get their hopes up, though. They probably didn't get their hopes up because I guess Jaguars have just been doing that and fucking over their fans for a while too. And maybe, you know what, maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe Jaguars fans completely will correct me and, like, you know, oh, they're completely fine with international games. However, like, I'm not the type of person, especially since I'm a Jets fan, I'm not a fan of a football team that I live in the state of, right? I only, like, at most will go to a football game a year, but, like, usually, you know, it's once every couple years. I've only ever gone to Vikings, Jets games. I'm thinking maybe I can fucking save money, fly out to Miami and fucking see Jets Dolphins if we're like still functional by December, but it is just absurd, dude. It is just so absurd how they fucking do this shit. I don't know. Fucking there's my ramble. I think that honestly, hot take, like, I would not be surprised. Like, I'm placing bets now. I think in the next 2 decades, we are going to get at least a playoff game internationally. Fucking, like, or a Super Bowl. I could totally see a Super Bowl going international. Honestly, I think that would go first. It's called the NFL. It's called the NFL. National Football League. National Football League. Not International Football League. Fucking, it just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Like, seriously. It's called the NFL, not the IFL. The National Football League. The National Football League. Why are the Jets playing in London? Why? It's not national, it's international. Fucking Vikings. Goddamn 2 pussy to get their ass kicked by Aaron Rodgers in their own stadium for the last time. God damn it. So fucking... Do you know how much better the crowd would be? Do you know how much goddamn better the crowd would be if that fucking game was just in Minnesota? Like, honestly, it is so absurd, and I think that the fucking, like, people that just run the NFL, they just don't give a fuck about the actual, like, fans or, like, the sport at all, to be honest. All they care about is fucking money. That's why they implement a bunch of stupid fucking rules that protect the quarterback way too fucking much, because the quarterback is who they're making their money off of and shit like that. That's who they're paying a bunch. They don't want them hurt. And so it's just all a bunch of bullshit. They don't care about the sport being entertaining. They don't care about fucking giving the fans what they want. Obviously, who? Like Aaron Rodgers versus the Vikings. Who the fuck does not see the history there? Who does not see the history there? That it is so goddamn absurd. So goddamn absurd. Like, oh my god. Oh my fucking god. I have no clue who puts the schedules together. There are so many different games you could fucking give them. Like, again, clearly they don't care too much about giving them, like, giving international games, like, the most marquee, like, ticket-selling fucking matchups, right? Because you got the Giants and Panthers playing. Alright? I don't think people are, like, jumping to fucking go watch that. I don't know how many people are gonna go, like, fly to see that game, right? Oh my god! But then you fucking, like, oh my god. Like seriously, again, I get you don't want divisional games, and I guess, right, it has to be a home game for the Vikings. But even then, you could put a team like the Texans or the Cardinals. The Cardinals easily could be an international game. Like, even the Texans, I wouldn't do the Texans either. I wouldn't do the Texans either because like, they're gonna be good. Like again, it's just, I hate when you rob the fans of seeing fucking, like, good football. Like, it's stupid, especially when you put a market, because it's not even. It's not even like it's, oh, I can't go see the game, right? It goes from me planning to go, like, I was going to splurge. I was thinking of, like, maybe sitting in a little suite or some shit, bro, on the fucking jet side. Like, I was really thinking about it. But it goes from that, right? Goes from you having those types of plans to now, how the fuck am I going to wake up in time for this game? Like, it is just a giant fuck you to goddamn American National Football League fans. National Football League fans. And they just say, fuck you. The fans here are going to spend more money on the teams. It's just that they have deals. The deals are what... like, that's my biggest problem. It's not even like it's the fucking diehard fans that are, like, going to spend the most money. Granted, I'm sure... Like, you know, you got your rich Jets fans and rich Vikings fans that are just going to fly out for the game or whatnot. And, you know, good on them. Fucking do what you... If I had the money, I would too. Actually, no, it's British. Like, I would not. I take that back. It's just that whole type of, like, philosophy of, like, once you have somebody on your side or whatever, or, like, once you have somebody buying your product, you can stop, like, trading them nice. You can stop doing nice shit for your fans. Like, God, do you remember... Didn't they used to give, like, free shit out at games? I swear they used to give free shit out at games. I don't see that anymore. I don't really see that anymore. Like, I think maybe I've seen, like, wristbands. Like, I think maybe you get, like, wristbands. But I swear I swear I remember getting like a hat or like a shirt or some shit as a kid. Like they don't do that shit anymore, and this is easily when they're making the most money. Like it's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking dumb. They are just and it's like I'm not trying to get in some goddamn like leftist communist fucking eat the rich shit, but like holy shit. Like at least like fucking respect the people who got you here, you know? Like respect the fucking fans that got you in this position in the first place. It's the fucking American fans, the people who have been supporting this fucking sport for generations. It's stupid. It's fucking dumb. And again, I'm not this by no means is me trying to shit on. If you are a London fan, especially like a London Jets or Vikings fan, like go have fun. Fucking go have the time of do it for me, bro. Fucking have the time of your life. It's just if I were to guess, like again, if you had the game in Minnesota, there'd be more diehard Vikings and diehard Jets games or Jets fans than in London. Like you'd have much more diehard fans in Minnesota. Obviously. It's not even a question. And since that's such a marquee matchup, again, since it's such a marquee matchup, you're taking all these diehard fans who would totally try to spend money, try to get the best seats to watch that. Oh, it's the final match with Aaron Rodgers. Just to then, they're like, oh, well, fuck. Guess I'm probably not even going to see it anymore now because I have work. And so it's like the amount of people that are just going to fucking miss the game. It's stupid. I'm sorry. This brand has gone on for way too fucking long, but I need to get that out there. Maybe I'm the only person who feels this way, but holy shit, there needs to be some sort of solution to international games because they are so bad. Like, why can't you do divisional games? I'm guessing it's in a contract, but like, give them one of the teams that play. Like, and that's a way to actually introduce international fans into the fucking sport. Teach them about divisional games. Like, oh, they get to see a divisional game, shit like that. And give them a different divisional game each year. But like that's like the sample. Like in my opinion, that's like the sample. And if you are that much of an NFL fan, right, you would go to it regardless. And I think that if I were to guess, like I feel like, you know, people who go to like NFL, like it's like the same thing as like people who don't watch fighting really, but like they see like, oh, there's a local boxing event. I'll go to that, I guess. That sounds like fun. I feel like that's probably a lot of the London fans, and I don't know, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am wrong, let me know. If I'm right, fucking really let me know because I like being fucking buttered up, baby. Long ass video. We'll see how much I can cut this up. But yeah, fucking like, subscribe if you haven't. But yeah, I'll find something to rant about again soon. Oh, you know what? I'll probably be live for fucking Thursday night game. I have no clue who even plays, but I'll be live for it, so stay tuned.